If you could look at our city through a magic lens, you might witness moments of true beauty. Romanio was a famous fashion designer once. His life was dedicated to capturing these moments and then transforming them into something wearable.
Yes. Ooh.
Sometimes, you discover beauty in the most unlikely places.
Yes! All right! Yes! Yes!
Romanio had it all. The fame, the fortune, and for a little while, his creations were regarded as truly beautiful.
Ooh. Huh. Mm. Ooh. Ah.
But as he became more famous, his soul became corrupted as he relished in his own self-importance.
Yes.
The public didn't appreciate his new direction, and the critics would say Hermanio's lost his spark. Lost his spark? The world has lost its spark, he thought, and thus began the downward spiral of Hermanio. He could not stand being out of the limelight. His reputation for his beautiful fashion was quickly being replaced by his reputation for his ugly fashion.
This world doesn't understand true beauty. True beauty is dead.
He'd cry. And right at that moment, as if the gods were responding to his grand declaration, Hermanio witnessed a beautiful crane drop out of the sky.
No!
In a rare moment of selflessness, Hermanio rushed to help the crane. Hermanio wasn't a doctor, but he was a masterful tailor. and he skillfully sewed up the crane's lacerations. He worked through the night, and by the next morning, he woke to an incredible sight. It was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. Romano was changed by that experience. The next day, he decided he would take a break from his work and dedicate his time to helping others.
What's that? Right. Indeed. There you are. There you go. Yes! Splendid. Hold it. Wait. There we are. There we go. I'm a hero.
Romano was getting the hang of this. He helped the elderly. He helped the local wildlife. He even taught students sewing techniques.
Voila. Thank you. Very inspired, I know. Yes.
One night, on his walk home, Romano met a woman in distress.
Can I help you?
He asked. She looked down at her torn clothes and asked if he had a coat she could borrow.
Of course,
he said, and then he explained how he had a whole shop of clothing that nobody seemed to want, and she was welcome to any of it. And so, they left for the shop. The woman introduced herself as Corrine. When she emerged from the changing room in one of his dresses, Romano looked at her puzzled.
No.
What's wrong? She asked.
The dress looks terrible on you,
He replied. It was the first time he'd realized his fashion was truly out of touch. He then went on to explain to Corrine how he'd lost his spark. Would you mind if I made a few tweaks to it? She inquired.
You?
Romano was offended. He was a famous fashion designer after all. And who was she? But then again, the dress was a bomb sight.
Why not?
Corrine wandered back into the changing room. But before disappearing, she called out, I have one request. Please do not watch me as I work.
Sure,
he replied. But what an odd request, he thought. Now he was intrigued. When she finally reappeared, Romano was awestruck.
It's beautiful. Masterpiece. The world needs to see this,
he exclaimed. Romano insisted on showing it in the shop window downstairs, and that's exactly what they did. The neighborhood reaction was instant. A hit. And soon the orders came flooding in. Corinne continued to work day and night, transforming Hermione's old collection. Soon, the neighborhood came to life with a new sense of style. As the popularity grew, the public interest in Corinne also grew. The critics would say that Corinne had the spark, which made Hermione furious. One night, a very special order came in. Elias V., a famous performer, was requesting a dress for a prestigious gala the following evening. It was a tight deadline. Hermione was excited for the project, but Corinne was worried and exhausted.
I want to help you, Hermione. I really do. But I need a break,
she explained.
Show me how you do it, and I'll do it myself!
He snapped back at her. For the first time, Hermione showed his resentment for her, and Corinne was shocked. What had happened to him? Corinne agreed to help, and in silence they returned to the workshop. As Corinne worked into the night, Hermione found himself becoming frustrated. If he learned her techniques, he could do it himself. He would have his spark back. He found himself moving closer to the dressing room. He just needed to take a glimpse of her techniques. The light behind the curtain was dazzling, and it took some moments for his eyes to adjust. Slowly, a familiar shape came into view. The crane he had once helped was now plucking its own feathers to make the dress for him. Beauty destroying itself. And for what? When the crane noticed Hermione, they shared a beautiful connection for a moment.
I tried to help you,
he heard Corinne's voice. And then she disappeared. If you witnessed a moment of true beauty, would you let it change you?